Hello and welcome to Felix's Space Time. In today's video we have an interview with Dr. James Logging, Inspiration for Entrant. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. So you signed up for an Inspiration 4 seat. Can you explain a bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm an orthopedic surgeon by trade, so that's kind of what I do for a living. So I see, treat a lot of patients with bone and joint problems every day, and my goal in life has just been to help people. In my spare time, I like to travel and see things throughout the world, and I've kind of gotten really fond of photography, and that's kind of like my stress relief. So when I'm away from work, I like to take pictures of things. And I think a lot of times, people lose sight of the beauty in the world, and they get caught up in the stresses of life. And so if I can help capture some of that beauty that the world has to offer and share that with other people, maybe that helps, give somebody some hope or some inspiration to realize that, no matter how difficult things get in life, that there's still beauty out there in the world. And if we can just take the time to look for it, that beauty's all around us.
Wow. Where did you hear about the Inspiration 4 mission?
I think I just saw it online. I didn't see the Super Bowl commercial when they came out with it, but I did see it online. And, I've always loved everything about space ever since I was a kid. And so I was really intrigued by it. And, it would be a dream for sure to be able to travel into space. And so once I saw it, I realized I definitely had to sign up and be a part of it. And, whether I get selected or not, I would love to be. But if I don't, it's still a fun opportunity. And, we've been able to raise a good bit of money for St. Jude. I think I've personally been able to raise over $10,000 so far for St. Jude, which is pretty awesome.
No, that's awesome. So you said you got interested in space when you were younger. When did you first get interested in it?
Yeah, I mean, I would think when I was pretty young, probably about your age or even younger, I remember always going outside and just laying out on the ground and looking up at the stars and just amazed by how beautiful all the stars are. And, when I was younger, watching the space shuttle launches, I just was really intrigued by that and amazed just by the science behind it. And so I've just always been interested in it. And, obviously with SpaceX and their aggressive, progress that they've made with regard to rocket launches and space flight, it's just kind of, renewed all of that interest. But I've kind of always had an interest in space. And, throughout time, I've contemplated, applying for NASA in their applicant pool. But, that would mean I'd have to stop doing what I do. And I do get to help a lot of people with what I do. So I'm kind of conflicted on whether that should be something I should eventually do at some point, or just continue to, as an orthopedic surgeon. But I've always had a dream of space. So.
Orthopedics and photography, they don't really go together.
That,
how did you get into photography? Was it a hobby or something you really wanted to do?
yeah, so it was more of a hobby more than anything else. Yeah, you're right. The two don't go together. So how it kind of really started, when I would take trips places on vacation, I always would love to take photographs, and a lot of it started during scuba diving. So I like to scuba dive a lot. And so being able to capture a lot of those cool images underwater of, animals and different things that I would see, I just wanted to be able to capture those. And as I got better and better at it, then I started taking pictures of other things and scenery, and then kind of got into astrophotography and taking pictures, of the Milky Way and the stars and things like that. So one day, my orthopedic practice had built a new office, and so we were looking for things to decorate the walls with. And so I printed out a bunch of these pictures, really large, on metal prints, and we hung them all over the office. And so that was kind of a big thing for patients would come in, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, we love your pictures, and they're so amazing." And so a lot of people had a lot of interest in it, and so it made me realize that, wow, some of these things I was able to capture, people were really interested in. So then it made me want to be able to share those with other people.
If you did win, what would you be most excited about?
I think several things if I were to win. One, obviously I would love to be able to photograph Earth from that vantage point. I mean, I think that would be a pretty amazing sight. So I would be pretty excited about, just being a part of something historic. But, also hopefully the good that the whole mission itself portrays, inspiring other people to do good and, to help St. Jude, but just other things. And, the thing with my photography is just trying to help people find the beauty in life. And if I can further that message and help people realize just how much beauty there is out there in the world, if we take time to look for it, I think that would be good. And then the last thing, my son, he's a aerospace engineering major. He's a freshman in college, and so that's his major. And I don't know if part of my space interest has kind of rubbed off to him, but he doesn't have an interest in going to space, but he loves the science behind rockets and building them. And so having this experience and then being able to share that with him would be a pretty amazing thing as well.
Wow. What's your favorite place to photograph?
My favorite place to photograph is probably underwater. And so every year I go to the Turks and Caicos Islands in the Caribbean. And I've got a good friend there who I always dive with, and he's a professional photographer. And so we go diving together and take lots of pictures. So that's probably my favorite, just because it's, a lot of beautiful scenery underwater there. But I do love astrophotography, and I've got a few trips for astrophotography this year planned to hopefully have some new images coming out. But that's probably my favorite, just the underwater in the Caribbean down in Turks and Caicos.
If you could go anywhere at all on Earth to go, where would you?
Where would I go? Anywhere on Earth. So out of Earth and lower Earth orbit would be pretty amazing. So I would definitely pick that if that still counts. But on Earth, I don't know. I like to visit different places. So, anything that's new or exciting. So I don't know that I have one place in mind that I would say this is where I'd rather go over anywhere else. But I just like experiencing new places. So anywhere new, and I've got several new places I'm going this year. So, hopefully get some cool photographs while we're there.
Why did you want to be a doctor, and why orthopedics?
Yep. So when I was little, probably about your age or younger, I think my dad had some pretty bad heart problems and had to have open heart surgery. And so he almost died when I was very young. And so thanks to a surgeon, he, was able to live. And so I realized, pretty early on that was a pretty amazing gift that I was given by that surgeon to have my dad and have him still be around. And so I was convinced at that point that I wanted to be able to give that gift to other people. So from that moment, I kind of just had in my mind is I was going to be a surgeon and I was going to help people and give the gift of making their lives better. So as I got older, and then in high school, my dad had to have open heart surgery again and almost died. So again, the same kind of scenario, which just further strengthened it. Once I got into medical school, the technical aspects of heart surgery, I thought that's what I wanted to do, which I like the technical aspects of it. But that lifestyle is pretty stressful. People are pretty sick, and unfortunately, a lot of them do die. And I realize I'm not great with death, and so when people die, I don't do well with that. And so orthopedics is a great specialty because while most people are pretty healthy for the most part, but they have pretty major problems, with pain and function. And so while I may not be saving their life immediately, I am changing their life and making their life better, which in the long run does give them a better quality of life. So I think that's a pretty rewarding specialty, just because I can see the immediate gratification and make people better immediately and really make a difference in someone's life.
Wow. What skills from being a doctor do you think could be helpful in space?
Well, I think there's lots of things. Obviously, if something were to happen and go wrong, they've got me. I can take care of it. So medically, I could handle pretty much any injury or problem that would arise medically. So I think that's pretty handy. Sometimes, especially if something were not to go as planned, it can be pretty stressful. As a surgeon, I'm used to dealing with stressful situations. And so being able to make decisions quickly and react, analyze the situation and determine what needs to be done. So, that's something that I do day in and day out. Also, working in an operating room, we work with numerous different people, such as surgical techs or anesthesia, nurses. And so we're used to working as a team. And so having that kind of team mentality, I think is extremely helpful, just because I'm just used to working with multiple people, of different personalities, and being able to work to a common goal.
When being in space, how does that affect your body?
Being in space, there's a lot of, obviously I've never been there, but there's a lot of changes that it has on your body, especially just the zero gravity. And I think that's the big thing. I think on the short term, there's probably not a lot of major changes, but long term, as you're there, because the lack of gravity, it does affect your bone density, your muscle mass, and things like that. So I know, a lot of the astronauts, they have to do things in order to stay active and strengthen their muscles and keep their bones strong, because over time you can get atrophy of the muscles and weakness of the bones. So there's definitely a lot of negative effects that space can have on you if you're there long term. But I think they've figured a lot of that out and able to adapt to it. But so that's but one thing, if you were going to be there for a long period of time, you'd have to take action to prevent some of those things from happening.
Thank you. That's all the questions I've got for you.
Sure.
I wish you lots of luck in getting out into space.
Well, thank you very much, and I wish you all the best of luck, and hopefully your career continues to grow and increase, and you're a great person, and I think you'll do really well in life. So
Thank you very much. You had some great answers to my questions.
Well, great. I hope it's been helpful, and hopefully the video will be good. So
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Felix. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, look back at my previous video about my Inspiration 4 competition, where we're raising money for St Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Thanks for watching. Bye.